Okay, welcome everyone to Solar Sailing. And if you haven't noticed, look around. The lovely ladies are here. Yes. This is going to be a great episode today. So let's just, before we dive in too far, introduce each other. I'm Jason.
I'm Leslie.
I'm Aaron.
I'm Shara.
Patrick.
Candace.
So today's episode, we are going to be talking about a very important topic, the absolute essentials of your boat galley. And so when we talk Galley Glow Up, that is going to be our emphasis today. I want to remind everyone that while we showcase our own passion projects and share with you how we went about it, that is in no way, shape, or form a guarantee or warranty from either Soul Seeker, Sailing Electra, or Extraordinary Horizons. It is us sharing our passion projects, and that is that. So, without any further ado, let's hear a little bit about our own galleys. So, first of all, for those of you who don't know, a galley, because some of our folks are brand new to this whole boating world, a galley is not a dungeon. It is actually a kitchen on your boat. And so you might even, for land based folks, you'd probably think about it more like a kitchenette if you're talking about Patrick's and mine and Leslie's boats. But Aaron and Shara, on the other hand, you'll see in a moment, whoa, we're talking next level. Like, good grief, look out. So let's hear about your favorite galley experience, Patrick. Just a fun.
Gotcha. So we do something a little bit different to most people with boats. So most boats, and when we bought our boats, it had a stove on the inside which was running with gas. We pulled that out, and we actually just used a little IKEA stove, and we cook outside. So outside becomes our kitchen because it's too hot to cook inside most of the year in summer. And Candace doesn't like the smells. Your clothing smells like food after a little while. So we do all our cooking outside in summer, and it's absolutely brilliant. And we're always sitting in a beautiful location, and there's always a nice sunset, more or less, at the time we're eating. And the sun sets at about 9 o'clock there in summer in Greece, and that's how I have it. We do that all the time.
Okay, so let's hear from Aaron and Shara. I know you guys haven't moved aboard your boat yet, but you've got big plans. What's your favorite future plan for Extraordinary Horizons on your galley? Let's imagine for a moment you've splashed, everything's in place, you're excited to use your galley for.
Damn, you have a good imagination. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, we're going to be preparing the foods for all three meals, and we usually cook together, so it's going to be a really nice experience to be on board and to be cooking together different meals. And we're going to try to cook meals. We're trying to get ingredients from the different islands.
Ooh.
Try to incorporate it into meals.
Yeah, so I think I mentioned to Jason and maybe Patrick too that I was a chef in my other life. So basically, one of the things we're going to try to do is we're going to try to gather up ingredients, local ingredients, wherever local may be at the time. Like I was just joking with Jason is that Patrick had something really cool too. Is that we're gypsies, right? We're gypsies, and Patrick said that we are something glamorously homeless. I think it was.
Glamorously homeless.
Glamorously homeless, and both of those apply. So basically, local is going to be wherever local is. So our idea is to collect these local ingredients along with whatever the local fish ingredient is, the local fishes in the area, and put stuff together, and possibly even put together some local cookbooks from the local areas.
Oh, that's
Wow.
so
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Oh,
So
that's exciting.
you know,
Can you imagine? I would want that cookbook.
yeah,
I absolutely want, because then I can butcher food and feel like I'm not. That's how I would feel about that.
you got
Leslie, what
it.
about you? What's been your? I mean, we had a month, and what was your favorite experience in our galley?
Um,
I know it's rough and ugly. It's getting better, but favorite experience.
well, uh, I don't know about a favorite experience, but I can say that some of the things that I'm thinking about with the galley are we're eating in a certain type of a way. And as we transition into a liveaboard scenario, is that going to be able to be something that's maintained? So high protein, low carb. For vacations, it's one thing, and it's like, okay, go ahead, sugar, whatever. But in the day in, day out, I eat in a way that's no sugar, low carb, high protein. So sitting up a situation in the galley where for a long period of time, where I can maintain that, that's something that concerns me. So do we want something that grills? Do we want something that's baking? Do we want something that's a microwave? Well, we don't have that much space. So what do we purchase to set up in the galley where it does multiple things? So all to say, we did try a couple of things. We have a type of a stove where it should be able to do grilling. It can transition and bake. We tried to bake. We
Listen,
tried.
those cookies were good. I liked them.
I don't know if can we do instead of purchasing so many low carb things, can we transition? Because what is the situation going to be where you go to the next port and some of the things are there, or what if they're not? I don't know. I'm rambling a bit, but
That's good.
So,
setting up a galley, I want to know what do I need that will allow me to prepare the foods for the dietary situations that I have.
Yeah.
yeah.
And so, we're figuring that out.
Yeah.
So as a chef, I might be able to help you out a little bit. So don't buy those packaged meals. Don't try to stay as much away as much as you can from those type of things. So I mean, I talked with Jason and I've seen the list. I know you guys have a 3-in-1 or 5-in-1 convection oven, which looks cool. Like we're gonna try that. Also, what do you when you do it now, what appliance are you using to do that? Like what and because the reason why I ask is we're going to try to adapt our boat kitchen to sort of be like our home kitchen, right? Because you don't you want to be a gypsy, but you still want to have the comforts of what you're used to. Otherwise, you're not gonna want to do that. You're not gonna want to cook there. So, like an air fryer and that 5-in-1 convection oven seem like good things. I've never used an air fryer. I'm an old school chef that cooks with pots and pans, and that's it. And a Vitamix. That's all I need to do whatever. But I
saw your Vitamix on there. I was like, oh, dang.
I've had that for probably 15 years. So I don't know what you're doing now, but try to transition over from what you're doing now into what you're going to do and scale down the appliances. Maybe you can get smaller of things than you're using right now, but don't buy those please don't buy those processed things, or don't buy a lot of those processed things, because those are full of salt and sugar or whatever they're disguising for the name of sugar these days. But yeah, so what are you using right now, like in your kitchen to prepare these kind of things?
Yeah, that's good advice. There is that transition that we have here away from the box kinds of things, but some of the things are a grill, air fryer, bread machine where it's can we make low carb breads that instead of the others, but then the space of that is the concern. So that's good advice that you have on that. That's what we're looking at, doing the meal prep, but trying to reproduce what we have here in a smaller version on the boat is
that's
exactly
that'll be a fun challenge. That'll be a fun challenge. I think like the galley, like I said, I'm gonna let Shara take care of the galley stuff, but I can see myself sneaking in places because I like cooking. So
Shara, what was it you said earlier? It was so funny when we were just seeing if testing mics and everything. You were talking about how you get all the stuff in place in order for him to do the actual. What was that? Tell me what that was again.
Yeah, well, I do the grocery shopping and planning what each meal is going to be. And then I prep it, and then Aaron comes in and he finishes it.
Make the magic, yeah.
Yep.
I love it. I love it. That's a good tag team. Patrick, any input on this before we dive into the slideshow?
Well, I mean, we can comment on your lifestyle because we're also pretty much low carb on our boat. All the time basically. But we find because summers are so hot on the boat, we actually don't want to do too much cooking. So we'll typically have protein in a salad, which is easy enough to do. You know, you cook it on the pan outside, and salads are easy to make, and you can get great ingredients all over Europe. And
Love
you know, the
Yeah.
Med loves they love eating their salads with lots of little things inside it, which is really nice. So it should be easy enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it. And we have been, just in case you guys didn't know, if you make comments, we're going to put them on there as long as they're appropriate. But High Def Dude is here. What's up? And says, wow, I feel like a VIP now because he was our only guy there for a little while. And
Uh,
now we got a couple more. But at any rate, let's dive into the slideshow. And I think we start with Electra, actually. So there's our thumbnail, and let's get going. Oh no, we start with Extraordinary Horizons. My bad.
uh,
Look at this. We got Shara who is in the boat. Let's go. That is so cool. Look at the space, Leslie. Good
It's nice.
Lord.
It's nice.
They have got an entire room. I love it. So, Aaron, Shara, take it away. Talk to us about what we're looking at.
do you want me to talk? All right. So, in our kitchen, or in the galley, or in this the galley is in the salon, where in our house the kitchen is in the main room, in the family room, dining room, whatever. So it's not going to be really that much difference. In the boat we have about seven footish headroom. I'm 5'9", Shara's maybe 5 foot, 5'2". So we have plenty of headroom, and we have a kitchen in the boat, probably about the same size or similar size to the kitchen in the house. So what we're going to do is but I don't want to waste all the room of the boat on the kitchen. Like I don't want to waste. I'm a big like open floor plan, like a space hog. Like I want everything to look like it's open, like it's we're not living in like a cave. So with the kitchen, we're gonna scale down and we're gonna use smaller type appliances. Like I'm not even sure. I think that there's an oven on here, like a full size oven, but we're not even sure if we're gonna put a full size oven in yet. Maybe we'll just be good with like the convection, the 5-way oven that Jason has, or maybe we'll be good with like a smaller size apartment type of stovetop and stove. So I'm doing some research right now on induction cooking, which to me is interesting. It's like get into the 21st century or further realm, which I'm not. I'm an old school chef, meaning that I use all old school stuff. I'm a pot and pan guy. I don't and a Vitamix. I don't like to use I've never really used an air fryer to cook anything. It may be like an enlightening experience for me. But so with putting induction cooking in, we have 5 parrots. So every single thing that we do, it's crazy or not, revolves around the parrots and their health. So I've read in some places that induction cooking is not safe for parrots because it involves some kind of magnetic something where you have to use special kind of pots and pans, and I don't know if that's safe for the parrots. The what is it? PFOE or these Teflon type of chemicals are definitely not safe for the parrots. If you heat up the pan dry more than a certain degrees, it releases this is for us too. It releases toxic gas that will kill parrots instantly.
Wow.
So yeah, like that Teflon is bad. Like when we rescued the parrots, we basically got rid of most everything, including pots and pans that had any kind of nonstick like surface on them. You can use ceramic, but we just use stainless steel and cast iron. So those are real safe. The other stuff is questionable, and who knows. So that's basically what we're gonna do. I mean, we're gonna bring in an air fryer. We have a toaster oven now, of course, with no type of chemicals getting released from it if you cook anything in it. Plus, I'm so paranoid. I don't ever take anything, the oven or the toaster oven, higher than 400 degrees
Oh
because
wow.
yeah, apparently 450 is where the gases could be released from, like a Teflon or that kind of um, chemical, that kind of product.
That's really awesome that you care to that level and that you're paying
Yeah,
attention
man.
and caring for them. That's
Yeah,
beautiful.
crazy caring, right? Like another child. Um, Coffee maker. Uh, we have a Keurig coffee maker. I'm trying to get, and I'm not a big coffee drinker. Shara likes her coffee. I'm trying to get Shara into more of like maybe like a like a Demitas coffee pot on the stove kind of thing, rather than using a Keurig, because I'm a little bit paranoid about energy generation and power. It's like watching like counting calories, right? You got to
Yeah.
count. You got to count kilowatts.
Hey,
Um,
Aaron, let me interject real quick because High Def Dude makes a good comment. And then I'd like to shift to Electra's and come back to yours because Candace is still around and can input.
Amazing.
But then we'll jump back to you guys after that. But let's look at High Def Dude. He says, believe me, induction is safe, but it reacts very quickly. So you need a more expensive setup to have it in a workable
Yeah.
way.
Yep.
That's a good point. And so I like that. That's very interesting stuff. And then he shares he's got two sets of induction on his boat and loves it.
Yeah. Interesting.
But I do appreciate where you're coming from as far as the sensitivity of your animals
Yeah.
that are more like family for you. And
Yeah.
that's a
We have
beautiful
two
thing.
dogs. We have two dogs too, and I don't I don't necessarily want to do anything that's bad for my own health either, with
Right.
like with Teflon and all these other kind of things. So yeah, I mean, that's when we put anything together on the boat, it's definitely keeping those kind of things in mind. Like sometimes I see people doing things on their boats and I'm like, whoa, I wouldn't necessarily have done it like that. But we're a little bit eccentric. We're a little bit crazy
I
as
love
far as
it.
wanting to make sure that everything is just right so that everything is safe for the birds, the dogs, and us.
That's beautiful. Let's go ahead and jump over. I see Candace has joined Patrick, and then we'll come back because I want to finish up on that. I don't feel like we're quite
Yeah,
done, but
thank you.
we'll step back to that here momentarily.
Yep.
So here we go. We got Candace and Patrick. Take it away. I just reminded of June is what it feels like. I'm like, oh, I remember that was great. They took us on the tour. Tell us
I
what
mean,
we're looking at, Candace.
our setup is probably very different to you guys because we have like possibly the most inexpensive setup and the most uncomplicated. I mean, our probably two big luxury items would be the dishwasher, the marriage saver, which you can see over there, and then our fridge. I mean, we had a what was it? A domestic? What
A
is it?
Dometic.
Dometic fridge, and we inherited it when we bought our boat, and it broke after our first season, and we replaced it with a normal domestic fridge. And that for us was a lifesaver because we only had a fridge before. Now we've got a fridge freezer. And being able to freeze food is amazing. That we always
Oh
have
yeah.
like an um, sort of emergency sort of protein and some veg and etc. You know, for us, we stay on anchor permanently, and we're often in very remote areas where we can't where we can't actually get the kind of food that we're looking for. So having the freezer really changed our lives, especially because at that stage, not anymore, I was vegetarian. So to have vegetarian sort of protein put aside. For us, we're very sort of lo-fi when it comes to meals. We only really eat out occasionally, and that's only for us when we feel that we need to be social. The rest of the time, we're having all of our meals on the boat. We really like to look after what we're eating. And with that, we have one frying pan and one pot.
Oh,
That is
let's
all we have.
go. Less is more. Less is more. Less is more.
Yeah, I mean
And
that's a great
in
love
fact,
it.
we had a different kind of frying pan that we didn't love, and now we found one that we love. So we went and recycled the other one. And yeah, we've got a little induction stove. You can actually see in the picture of Patrick
From IKEA.
from IKEA. That has one flaw, which I don't love, is that when you're on a boat, that induction stove is glass. And we've had it happen twice where you turn your back and there is a wave, a
Oh
big
no.
wave, and our wonderful food has ended up on the floor. And both times it was when we had eaten from our emergency stash.
Oh no.
It was delicious looking food, and yeah, that ended up on the floor.
You know,
But
Candace, our son-in-law, he says when it does that, when he get, it's just extra protein. That's what he
Yes,
says.
sir.
I'm like,
It's very
no,
sad. It's
no.
we used
yeah,
to,
I mean,
we,
it was super
we used
sad,
A
but
bit of dog hair and
yeah.
very sad.
So I mean, yeah. So our setup is super casual and really minimal.
and nothing is made for boats. Everything is house stuff. So our
Yeah,
old boat fridge was two and a
love
half
that.
kilowatt hours a day. Our new house fridge is 0.4, so it's 6 times
Wow.
more efficient.
Oh
Wow.
my.
I heard you talking about low carb bread. I mean, we also, follow that. And we tend to be able to pick up low carb bread usually from a Lidl, um, wherever we've gone. We find that we would rather pick up the bread than make it ourselves, just because then we've got fewer ingredients on board, so we can stock
Wow.
up in other things.
So
Our
you guys will
pantry
go
has always
into
got
shore and pick it up.
Yeah,
yeah.
from the store.
So our pantry is always filled with a lot of beans and a lot of staples, lots of tomato and pasta sauces and stuff like that. And then the rest of the time we go shopping daily for veg. And that's about it. I mean, we are about to actually renovate the look of our little galley coming up.
Whoa,
Um,
breaking news. Let's go.
So our very first season, we had a wonderful guy who owned a paint shop very close to our boat when we were doing all of our renovations. And unfortunately, he doesn't own a boat, and he gave me some really bad advice. And I painted with normal commercial paint when it was very cold. So our galley, our beautiful little galley, was all painted gray, and it just peels. So we are,
Oh,
yeah, in March when I get back there, I am going to be sanding the whole thing myself and repainting it with marine enamel.
I
And
believe
all
what you
of
mean is
the wooden
painting it.
paneling that you see is also going to go white enamel as well.
Oh, wow, that's a
So,
big change. Very big change. I love it. That's cool. Now, here's the thing, though, Candace, and folks, if you're still watching, and I see there are some, go check out Sailing Electra's Instagram channel, which they have different content there than they do on their YouTube channel. You see Candace doing a lot of that renovation work. I'm taking notes. I'm like, okay, that's good. I need to get that tile and do this. And so, sounds like you're going to be doing it again.
You
yes.
got to
I mean,
keep it fresh, right?
yeah, we're going to be doing again, and this time we will need to, yeah, we'll need to actually get off the boat for maybe a week or so and hire an apartment because I need to sand everything, and
Oof.
it's going to be difficult because the first time we did it, we weren't living on the boat when we were repairing it, and this time that's our whole life that's on there,
Yeah.
so it will be it's going to be a little tough. So,
Well,
especially with the kids.
Gustavo has given you the let's go encouragement, so he's looking forward to it.
Candace basically did the whole inside of the boat. So I had no hands in anything except for plumbing
Wow.
In fact,
You did that.
In fact, we had some family
and
who
electrical.
when we went to go visit, they asked me, Candace, what do you do with your time on the boat? And I was like, I'm working on the boat, I'm fixing it. And they were like, what? Really? They didn't believe us. So it was quite funny.
You're like,
And he
listen,
completely
look at
stood
my
up functioning
Instagram
his
channel,
net.
buddy.
Yeah.
I love it.
So I'm looking forward to it. In fact, in some ways, I prefer the renovation stage than a full-on sailing stage. I love the renovating. It's lots of
Did you
fun.
love that when living on land? Like, were you always changing and designing and all that?
Yeah, you did some of those.
Yeah. I mean, it's always a little bit easier to do all of those things, and then by the time you're sailing, it's so hot, and you don't want
Yeah.
to be doing any renovations. So, yeah.
So true.
Are you guys planning on doing before and after pictures or video clips? I love watching those, looking through things
We
like that.
He's good at
You know
design.
what generally happens? I mean, we've got so much content of like little bits of befores and little bits of afters. But what generally happens is that you have the greatest intention to capture the entire process. But by the time you've got like gloves on and you
I
sort
don't
of,
want to.
you're in the, yeah, it takes time to actually film all of it. Or what will happen is something stressful will happen, like you mixing epoxy or something like that, and you're just like, couldn't care with the content and you just want to
Yeah.
focus.
Yeah.
But we do plan on doing it. I mean, we also, I mean, we need our boats out in the hard. We're going to be sort of painting the outside and stuff like that. So yeah, sorry, not galley talk.
Yeah.
No, it's all good. And while it's called Galley Glow Up, it's really more the inside, right? Like all the appliances, all the stuff.
Mhm.
And so this has been very insightful. And I can agree when you're making the content and you're in the midst of a DIY project, you're like, which do I value more right now? I need to get it done.
Well, and if I could say the same thing for Erin, Shira, I have looked and really enjoyed finding whatever is out there where they show before and afters, whether it's homes, well, now obviously with boats,
Yep.
galleys. So I would love to see for you guys, anybody else who's watching who's out there, please show. It's so fun to see
Yeah.
before, even if you don't have the process, before and after pics, and you get ideas for people who
Yep.
are going to be doing this like us down the road, maybe other people. You get ideas for what you can do with your galley or your boat situation.
I mean, we already have like from Candace watching her do the bathroom or the head in their boat, the wall covering.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're doing that. Like
Oh, wonderful.
we're gonna
Same.
implement that
Like, yep, buy it.
somewhere. Like maybe a backsplash for the kitchen. I mean, that's pretty incredible. That again, this stuff is really inexpensive. And then, from what I remember, I think Candace even added some extra adhesive to the back of that stuff to make it stick more, or stay longer, stay stuck longer on the wall. But that stuff is incredible. Like it's easy to make. Like I want to not have. We already have enough to maintain. I don't want to have to maintain more things. And we're trying not to have a lot of wood inside in the galley or anywhere else for that matter, because I don't want to varnish. Right, varnish. It looks amazing, but
Ugh.
I don't want to take care of it. So we're painting over all of our wood for those wood purists out there. I'm so sorry.
I'm not sorry. Don't
Yeah,
kick rocks. I'm not doing that.
I don't want to maintain it. So like we painted all of our veneer, like Candace mentioned. We had some real nice wood inside veneer and stuff like that from the original build. We painted it all over. We're painting it all over because
Yeah.
it's so much easier to maintain, and I don't want to look like I'm living in a cave. I like bright, and some people say, "Oh, well, you're not a real sailor." Okay, so maybe I'm not. But I want, I want a comfortable space, a bright space, a happy space, somewhere where you can look forward to being. Right. But
Perfect.
Guys, I'm
Well,
going to
let's.
have to go. But thank you for having me. I would love to say one last thing. For anybody who's planning a galley or pretty much anything on your boat, I think I think don't overcommit too much before you get into sailing. I think if this looking at us, I had all these various different plans for our boat and I had a list of different kinds of pots and pans and crockery and many different devices. I was looking at various different coffee makers and a whole bunch of stuff. And in all honesty, sail your boat first. Sail your boat first before you buy stuff because your space is so limited and just simple things that you don't realize that sort of when your boat does heel and etc. That and this is us even on a catamaran and we don't really heel that keel. Those kind of things make a major difference. So just don't overcommit and go with as little as possible and only buy what you need once you've experienced it. So
That
anyway,
sounds like
thank you for
sage
having me.
advice.
thank
Thank
Bye.
you
you.
so much for joining, Candace. I know you're busy. So that was fantastic hearing about Electra. Patrick, any other comments before we jump over to Extraordinary Horizons to wrap up? Because I know we didn't speak much about those other pictures there on Electra. Let me jump back over there. specifically the dishwasher.
I mean, the dishwasher, we had a hole in the boat there where we couldn't put anything else, and we found a dishwasher that was the perfect size and match, and we like it. We use it. It uses less water than washing by hand, so that's quite nice, and it saves us a lot of effort, which is pretty cool. The washing machine, I think, is a non-negotiable, and I think it's mostly a non-negotiable because it takes
Stop
so much time
smiling.
doing laundry when you don't have it on
Patrick,
board.
why did you? I did not need you to say that, Patrick. I've got my wife sitting right here. She is
Yeah,
literally sending daggers my way.
I
Thank you
mean,
for that.
it's a 60 kilogram, what is that? About 120-pound machine. It's a monster to carry on and off and that. But once it's on and it works, you don't need to lug your laundry anywhere and you can do washing whenever you like. And everyone else spends an absolute fortune. So it saves you money in the long run. In fact, in one season, it's probably paid for itself more than one. So that's a real big must, I think.
Brilliant.
The rest of the stuff is optional. You can see we've got a microwave over there, which is nice. It came with the boat. It was white, and then the white turned yellow, and then Candace got a can of spray paint, so now it's black, which looks very cool. We can't,
Lasted 3 seasons. That's
yeah,
spray paint.
we can't see what any of the buttons do, so that's a convection microwave. We can't remember which button
I
for
love that.
convection was. So it's now just a microwave.
I love it.
That's
I
about it.
love it.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Hey,
We
Pat-
did get some
hey,
comments
Patrick.
here. We've got great advice, Candace from High Def Dude, and he also, I think this is going to be one that we interject back with Aaron's. But talking about, and I want to see since we do have an induction here with Patrick as well, the top glass plate of an induction plate stays relatively cool around your pan. You even can use double tape to stick some plastic or aluminum discs around the pan to prevent sliding.
Ooh,
That's a good tip.
that's a very good idea. I'm actually going to give it a try. So High Def Dude is Ralph, and Ralph has got a beautiful, fully electric boat as well. So we should show some pictures at some point. But good to see you there, Ralph. Nice tip on keeping the pans on the convection stove. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Thanks,
like that
thanks,
too.
Ralph. Appreciate it. So, Patrick, I got a question about your clothes washer and dryer. Is that one of the ones that is a washer dryer combo or no?
No, no, it's just a washer. And then our lifelines all along the outside of the boat become the dryer. And it works really well. The sun shines in summer, stuff is dry. You know, by the time you put it out on one side and you go down the other, the first side is dry, basically.
Yeah. So in our house, again, some people may think we're weird, but that's fine. We probably are. We have a washer and dryer in the house, but we don't really use the dryer. We use the washer, and then we have a clothing rack that we hang the stuff out inside the house, and like within a day it's dry. And you don't have shrinkage of clothing, you don't have like degradation of clothing from putting it in the dryer because the dryer is hard on your clothes.
Yeah, and the UV sort of sterilizes everything as well, so you've got nothing remaining on it, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And to be honest, the dryer is a massive use of energy, whereas the washer is not very much. If you put the washer, it's maybe a half a kilowatt to a kilowatt hour is a wash for us, but the dryer would be, I mean, depending on how many hours you run it,
Yeah.
3, 4, 5 kilowatt hours.
Yeah. Interesting. All right. Interesting.
That is very, very interesting stuff. Have you thought about the combos that are ductless? What are your thoughts on those, Patrick?
Again, we wouldn't have the energy, so maybe if we're in a marina over winter, it would be worthwhile.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I can talk like a little bit about the ductless machines because I'm doing a lot of research on that kind of stuff. I'm always doing research on something. So on the ductless machines, they take longer to dry the clothes, and that condensation has to go somewhere,
Right.
So what happens is that condensation goes into whatever room it is in, whether it's in a house or on a boat. So on a boat, there's issues with mold, right? Or issues with humidity and condensation.
You're gonna put more moisture.
So what we did was we were planning on going the ductless way, and then I said, after I learned all this other kind of stuff, I figured let's go the duct way, but then the whole concept is where do you duct it, right? Because a boat is much different. That boat is much different than a house. So we ended up ducting it into one of our hulls, right? Because where the room is for the laundry room, we can't. There's no outside wall because it's an interior room. It's on an interior room. So what we did was we cut a hole in the wall and we ducted it into the hull, And then I'm still looking at getting one of these filters that fit on the end of the duck toes. To you got to be creative. I
Right.
mean, it's really a
I honestly
creativity.
think
But
that's one of the
yeah,
joys of the boat life in general is the way you
problem
got to
solving.
think differently. Well, let's jump back to our slideshow here with Extraordinary Horizons, because you had a whole list here of things that say not yet. Are you waiting on specs? Are you waiting on price? What are your
No,
thoughts on that?
we're waiting on being able to look at the space and say,
Mm,
like Candace said, what is it that we really need? Like, um, with the sink, well, we don't even have a cabinet or a counter to put the sink in yet. So
right.
we don't even know what we're gonna buy. I mean, we went, um, we took a little field trip to IKEA last weekend, which is always fun because it's a huge playground of everything, and it's a total confusion when you get there because there's so many different choices of so many of the same thing.
Hmm.
It makes things even more confusing. But yeah, I mean, we don't know what, like for the cookware. Well, if we go with an induction stove, an induction cooktop, then we need special kind of cookware, pots and pans. So I mean, the dishwasher, we got a little dishwasher like Patrick has. I'm looking at Ralph's. So yeah, we have a little dishwasher, which is definitely going to be a transition for us because we have a regular size dishwasher. But we'll figure it out as we go. But that's go ahead.
Yeah, we had a comment there about this was from earlier with the conversation about the induction stove and the concerns about it for the parrots and whatnot.
Mhm.
And there was the comment made about every cable in your boat with high amps through it is already an induction system of sorts. And so
Yeah,
definitely something to keep in mind.
yeah, yeah.
Very good. So when we look at your list, I think it's an impressive list. I love the crock pot because I think Leslie's thinking about that too.
Yeah.
I was actually looking at the coffee maker, and I think there was a
Oh,
look that I saw earlier with Aaron and Shira. And I'm originally from Seattle, Washington, so that
Coffee,
might not mean a lot to some people depending on the country. That
coffee capital.
lattes, mochas, it's a big deal growing up in that area. So for us, we did need to know that the boat would float, but like immediately, a non-negotiable was
Yeah,
an espresso machine. And so you have the counter. So we had to measure to see because ours is already set in that way at the moment. We're going to change out
yeah.
things, change out cabinetry, but at the moment it was we have this height that we're dealing with. We're going to have an
pretty
espresso maker.
That's
And so
non-negotiable.
finding one that was that height, I see the Vitamix, and it was like, yep, if we're gonna do protein smoothies or whatever,
cool.
it's gonna have to fit in this height. And so some of the things that you guys have on there, they were non-negotiables, and they're there. Although other things we're researching and figuring out, a quick little amount of research had to go into finding something that would fit in this height, like
Yeah.
the espresso maker.
Yeah.
So
I
I
mean, it's
laughed.
interesting. It's interesting because how everyone has different non-negotiables. Like, no, it's interesting. Like, yeah, we're gonna try out an Instapot too. Like for us, like every single thing that we're doing is experimentation. I think life is all about experimentation anyway. But
Yeah.
um, I'm an old school cooker, right? I'm cooking with pots and pans, and that's really it. So for all of these new school things, um, like an Instapot or a air fryer, we have an air fryer. It's still in the box. Yeah, I mean, but to use these kind of things because here I want when we're on the boat, I want to focus more on what 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 Candace and Patrick do. They're basically enjoying themselves, right? I want to focus on that and not focus on trying to maintain all of these different things. So less is more, really,
Love
because
it.
then there's less things to maintain.
Okay, so let me interject real quick before we jump over to ours because Aaron just said something that's very important. And Patrick, I want you to verify or alter the statement. What Aaron said was he wants to do what Patrick and Candace are doing because it looks like they're just enjoying themselves.
Mhm.
Is that true?
We are enjoying ourselves a lot, yeah. So we've been very fortunate that we haven't had to do a lot of maintenance. Things haven't broken, quite surprising. There's one or two little things, autopilot and a wind sensor, but on the whole, I don't know. We Most people say you can never have house stuff on a boat, but it's all just worked and it's worked reliably, continuously. Yeah, it's been great.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Aaron, last thoughts on your guys' setup before we change slides?
Yeah, I think that Patrick just reconfirms something that I kind of already knew, which was a house stuff. And a lot of people look only to go to boat stuff, which is, from what Patrick said, which I didn't know, is less efficient than house stuff a lot of the times. And they say that house stuff doesn't hold up on a boat. Well, that I don't believe that that's necessarily true either. Maybe for some things. So that's kind of the direction that we're going to go, and push the limits and experiment and see what we can do, how far we can take
On a
it.
lot of stuff right now has really reached. I know we're in a time right now where inflation is a real thing,
Yeah.
but when you get to things like these small appliances, honestly, a lot of them are so cheap right now that okay, if it lasts for two
So,
years and then you got to replace it, it wasn't the end of the world like it once
right,
was.
it's $50 or something. Yeah.
Right. Well, let's jump over and take a look at our setup on Soul Seeker. Now, ours is a 1986 Prout Snow Goose Elite, 37 foot. It's going to be very narrow because these are in the hulls. So here is our actual galley right now. So you come down these stairs
It's
over
Galley.
here, and you are on there. And this was after the recent flooring that we put in. My son-in-law was very helpful with that. But you can see we have, like Leslie said, we've got existing cabinetry, we've got existing counters, and we have just pretty much stuck with those. You can see that we put some contact paper down just to make it look a little bit nicer on some of the shelving. I think on this, if you looked closely, you'd be able to see that. But for the most part, it's existing stuff that we will replace as we go. We are of the mindset that we want to get to the let's just go enjoy ourselves sooner rather than later. And honestly, with Soul Seeker, we want to renovate it. We want to get it to be a solar powered liveaboard that's capable of doing the great loop. And if we finish that and then decide to get a different boat, then okay, we'll have our list of things to do. But if we continually upgrade this one, then that's fantastic as well.
Mhm.
Now, on mine, I want to remind everyone that today's episode, we put the link to this slideshow, which is just Google Slides, but we put the preview link of that in the description. And I did that because these little hands right here, the little pointers, for ours, I went ahead and took the time to put the links to Amazon, Lowe's, or Walmart, wherever we happen to buy those things. So if you were in the market and wanted to look for something like that, then you've got a reference point. So I'm just going to start by clicking on these. So for example, here this one was from Lowe's, and I'm not going to go through all of these. I just wanted you to see some of these. And so as that then loads up, you can see the fridge, or not the fridge, the sink that we got. Why that's taking so long is beyond me, but we got this sink here because it fit dimension wise with what we wanted and had the cutout for the single hole for the faucet where we needed it to be. Now we rotated this, as you'll see in the image, we rotated that from what they have here. But the dimensions that you'll see here, that fit well within our countertop space. Now what didn't fit well that you can see is the depth. And that was because the through hole out to sea is actually too high compared to where this sink drops to. So I had to build a little riser. And so as we rebuild the cabinets, I would just build them a little bit higher. But you can see that that was just a little rough in there using wood that we had there underneath the boat when we bought it. These others you can see right here, that is the non-negotiable. Now, Patrick, you'll like this because you've been quite the coach through a lot of this stuff. And when we got off of your boat back over to ours there in North Carolina, the debate raged. It was okay. Jason is clearly going to love this experience. That's not really a question. It's whether or not he can pull it off. Can he make this thing actually work? Not that Leslie was thinking that. Jason was thinking that. And so for Leslie though, the question was, will I have the creature comforts I need to be feeling like I am in a safe space where I can feel comfortable? And
Mhm.
that was going to be like, I don't know. Can I pull it off? Oh my God. And so, fortunately, we were able to find, and I'm going to go ahead and click on this one. We were able to find on Amazon this delightful espresso machine that my Seattle girl, who I love very much, but we really should have had the football talk beforehand. I'm just saying. And so what we determined was this was such a good machine. We actually bought a second one and brought it actually to our home here in Missouri as well, and left that one on the boat for when because we didn't want to bring a lot of stuff back and forth, back and forth. So we got a second one. So when we go move back on the boat full time, we're gonna have two. We might
Cool.
need to send one to Patrick and Candace. Wouldn't
No,
that be
you'll have redundancy in case that one breaks, which hopefully
right? Redundancy. There you go.
hopefully a $353 coffee machine does not break too quickly.
Right?
But
Listen, that is a small price to pay to have your wife happy, brother. I'm
yeah,
telling you.
yeah.
It's a bargain.
It's a bargain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a bargain.
Yeah.
Oh god. All right,
So
go on,
when you
Jason.
look at these, you can also see, like I've given you some close-ups here just to give you. We did get the dryer. That was apparently a non-negotiable as well. I even chuckled about it on a video where I was like, "Yep, we got a dryer on our boat. It's a thing." Now this one is not ductless. It does duct out. There's a seat above in the pilot helm right here, and so we can put the ductwork right out there and just let it vent, and so it works.
Hey,
But go for it.
do me a favor, Jason. Can you click on that link? Because I'd love to see that what you got for
The
that.
dryer there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so this one is straight off of Amazon, Bond Low, just a cheapy knockoff, but it worked, and we put it through the ringer. It did not. It fortunately it worked when we got the Multi Plus going. That was the key. And if you've seen our videos from July, and if your name's Patrick Mackay, then you have like 8 million text messages back and forth about the Multi Plus and how scary it was for me to hook that up. And then I finally did it and went, that was stupid. Why did I take my time on that? Oh my God. And Leslie went, yeah, that was stupid. Why did you take your time with that? But she never said that was stupid. Now, all that said, it wasn't the end of the world. It didn't break the bank to get it. I was happy. She was happy. And so we got that. And this over here is our dishwasher, kind of similar to Patrick and Candace's actually. We just put it in a place that was open at the point in time. So these are our prices. Put them into euros as well. When you boil it all down, oh, the cookware. I want to show the cookware because you brought up that about induction cookware, and it's kind of an important component, right? So when you click on this one, you'll see here's our cookware. We really like it. I'll tell you this much: it's the concerning stuff with the Teflon, I'm sure, but for those of you who don't have birds to worry about, or you're not as concerned about that, look at those handles. They come off. The handles detach. And so that was fantastic. What I know you were really impressed with that too.
Yeah, I like it. I like the way that you can stack them, remove the handles if you have, limited space. The variety of what you can do with it. Oh, I mean, there's just a lot. That's great to show it like that. I
So
really
those
like
are the handles right there next to it, and they come
Mhm.
right off very easily. Clamps down. It's a nice firm clamp, so you never feel like if you're trying to flip an egg or something that it's bad. I will say this: induction stove cooking, when you go to flip that egg, if you just pull it off, it needs constant connection with the induction stove to remain. So when you pull it off to flip, you've now caused an error on your induction stove. You're gonna have to power it down, power it back up. It's not the end of the world, but it is a thing that you got to adapt to. And you're like,
Is yours induction? Is that you have induction cooking or no?
yeah, it's induction cooking.
Okay.
But this right here, if you're one who, this suits you just fine. This cookware was fantastic. We really were happy with that purchase.
Mhm.
Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
and the no stick on it was good without
Yeah.
being like ridiculous. I will say when we come over here, our grand total was $2,249 on the stuff you see here. That's not everything. Like that's not the flooring. That's not like there's so much involved. But
Yep.
even the dishes, like that's not including our. We just got little plastic, easy to clean. But also, if you drop it on the boat or if it
Yep.
falls over, it's not going to break. For our plates, and we got plate like full size plates, saucers, bowls. Uh, we got all the stuff, but I
And
didn't
the
include all that in
cups.
there.
Yeah, name brand for the cups. I
We
know.
did the same thing. We vowed that we're not bringing any glass or ceramic or anything breakable on the boat for
Yeah.
really anything. So most of it is going to be plastic. But then there's two schools of thought. Like there's people that really don't think that plastic has any place on a boat.
Mm-hmm.
The radical environmentalists. But what do you like? What do you do? Like, but then you put glass in there and you break the first glass, and then you're going to be like, oh, I should have done plastic.
Well, I'll tell you what I do. I go to Aaron and Patrick and I ask, "What am I supposed to do?"
Yeah.
So do you know what we did?
Like what
We
Patrick,
took our favorite stuff from home, all the way from South Africa across on a flight, and we said, I've got my favorite bowl, I've got my favorite glasses, they're all in the boat. Haven't broken a glass yet.
Okay.
Whoa, whoa, that's impressive. I break glasses by looking at them too long. Like, oh no, it
Yeah.
broke. Ow.
Yeah. Interesting.
Well,
All right.
I'll tell you guys, this has been a great chat. There's so much behind a galley that you don't even think about, like routing the water, routing the power, routing AC power versus DC power. There's so much that goes on that you don't even think about when you look at a given scene. And what's beautiful about it is, for me, like the idea of redesigning our kitchen in an on land home, like in this home, stresses me out because it's going to be so expensive.
Yeah.
It's just going to be such large, expansive countertops and lots and lots of cabinetry. Whereas on a boat, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm okay with doing that. Like it's not going to be the end of the world as far as the materials. It'll be hard to rough in there and get it to fit because it's all nothing is like perfectly level.
Where
But that's just a smaller concern. Like the idea of if she goes, hey, I want to use this nicer material. I mean, we do have to worry about weight. Obviously, you got to worry about that, but there's a balance that I feel inside, which is I'm not that stressed about let's rip out those cabinets and put in new ones. Cool. Okay, yeah, let's do it.
I have a question.
Go for it.
Patrick and Candace talked about the refrigerator and ice, the freezer part of it. We have a little refrigerator.
Mm-hmm.
I know some people have a refrigerator and then they may have another space that they're using for a freezer or one of the refrigerators that you can convert. It can either be a refrigerator or a freezer. I'm curious what I know you said you liked the freezer part, but I don't know, Aaron and Charlotte, if you guys have been thinking about that, researching that. If there's somebody else who's watching who might comment then on the type of refrigerator that switches to a freezer, is that a good thought if you were going to have a second space to have a refrigerator and then one that can switch back and forth? Are those effective? Has anyone considered that? So the refrigerator freezer concept is one that I'm tossing out there.
Go ahead, Patrick.
Well, I mean, we love our fridge freezer as a combination. It's very efficient. So for our fridge alone, our old thing was just a fridge was 2.5 kWh. So we've got a fridge and a freezer for 0.4. And I think it's so efficient because the freezer's on top and it lets cool air trickle down. And so you get almost double the cooling out of it. But yeah, I've never, so the ones I know that switch between fridge and freezer are typically made for boats. And stuff that's made for boats typically adds a zero to the price, and it
Yeah.
sort of doubles or triples the electricity consumption. So that's the big thing to check.
And for us, we're planning on doing like a domestic style fridge, and then a chest freezer, like a deep freeze chest freezer. Which, doing research, you would think that a deep freeze chest freezer uses a lot of power. It does on the startup, but it cycles. So once it gets down to temperature, if it's efficient, typically it won't. It just doesn't use a lot of power at that point.
Just don't open it and leave it open.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And I
they're
fit,
good because
a lot. Go ahead.
I say when you open a normal freezer, the cold air just falls out into the into the boat, whereas the
Yeah.
chest it sort of sits in there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a fisherman, so I want to be able to freeze some of that fresh fish, and I want to be able to keep it away from the rest of the foodstuffs, right? Because fish smells, and I want to be able to keep it away from the rest of the food, and probably away from the galley or the kitchen in general. Keep it somewhere else, totally on the boat. Maybe even maybe even outside, but then you got rust happening on the chest freezer. It's a balance,
Yeah.
but we don't know. We have to test and see how it goes.
And that's all the fun. Well, folks, I really have enjoyed the conversation today. We're closing in on an hour. We like to wrap up each episode with final thoughts, and so let's start with Patrick, and then we'll go to. This was Aaron's episode, so we'll go to us next, and then Aaron and Cher can wrap us up. But we do have one comment here as we transition. And that is another one from our good buddy High Def Dude. It says one of the features of the better induction systems is an automatic memory that instantly kicks in when you remove the pan. Oh, and quickly continues the heating when you put the pan back. Fantastic. I will have to look for one of those. Thank you.
Sounds
one
high
last
tech to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, one last question. Ice machines. We bought just a little one that sits on the counter that makes ice. What are you guys' thoughts on ice machines that
Need
are
ice. We're getting a better ice
bigger
machine.
ones, or what's your research? What are your thoughts on ice machines?
All right, so I can speak to this one because we have a definite issue with ice. Like I like ice.
Love ice.
I'm the ice liker in the household. So we have it's a Whirlpool fridge, and the damn thing doesn't make ice efficiently. It just
Unacceptable. Gotta go.
it can't keep up. So we've tried a couple of different tabletop ice makers, and we finally have one that this thing can churn out some ice.
Oh,
A lot. Like I think it churns out like 20 something pounds of ice. I can't keep up with it.
that's massive.
It's making more ice than. But how energy efficient is it? I'm gonna talk to Patrick offline about that one 'cause I don't know. But I mean, if it's energy efficient, this would be the one to get. And it's I think it was at.
I got it at Walmart,
Yeah.
and I could look it up and send you the link.
It's cheap.
if you're interested.
It's
Oh,
cheap
awesome.
and it's awesome, and it's small, and the footprint is small. So that
Beautiful.
would be one that I
Love
would.
that.
I would
Yeah. Because I agree. Ice is big. I don't care what Patrick's about to say. Ice is important. We need it. We need it.
in Europe, they don't use a lot of ice, do they? Or do they?
But on boats, people would kill for ice. It's
Yes. Oh.
if you tell people I'm coming over, I'm bringing a bag of ice, you'll make friends everywhere.
Immediately, they're all
good to
like,
know.
"Welcome to the family."
Yeah.
I love that. Except for right now here in Kansas City, where outside it's nothing but ice.
Yeah.
Sick of it.
I'm
All
sorry.
right. So, Patrick, final thoughts about the Galley Glow Up.
So I'm going to go with a quote because we're talking about big projects that we're tackling, and we've got a bit of a kitchen theme. So this was from Desmond Tutu, who's one of my favorite South Africans, and he said, "There's only one way to eat an elephant, one bite at a time."
Yep, for sure.
Nice. That's perfect advice. Man, I'll tell you, the Mackays have been waxing poetic today. You had Candace dropping a truth bomb. Get out there and sail first, and now you got one bite at a time. I've never eaten an elephant. Suddenly I want to eat an elephant. All right, so for us, I'll go and then you go. How's that? You good with that? So my final thoughts are it's okay to get out there and build it as you go with this type of stuff. Stuff below the waterline, have it done before you try and float your boat, right? Getting the power stuff going. Yep, I want to have that done. I want to be able to propel the boat. But this type of stuff, man, it's okay to build it as you go. Get out there and add this, take away that, do this, do that. I'm excited to get out there and try it. Guys, we're coming up on the the end of May is when we make our move, and I'm going like, oh my God, there's so many things that need to get done, and we got to get this galley up and running right, and so many things. So it's stressful, but like in the best way. And so my takeaway is it's okay to start and do bit by bit. So I guess it's similar to Desmond Tutu, one bite at a time. Leslie, what about yours? Final thoughts.
We want to simplify, we want to enjoy what's the most important, but at the same time there are some things, people vary. There are some things that for some people would be non-negotiables, for someone else it isn't. So you need to know that for you, and then that's going to help you to really make this thing a reality and enjoy it.
Very good. And so now we go to Aaron and Shara. Take us away.
Yeah, so I'll go first and then Shara can go. So we're doing things maybe a little bit backwards. Like we're basically finishing up our massive refit renovation, and we're not even going to build the kitchen yet. We're going to put the boat in the water, and then we're going to build the kitchen around what we feel we need as we go. That's the way we feel it's going to be best. Like Candace said, like don't go putting together a whole concept, spending the time to put something together when you're probably going to just either end up changing it or scrapping it totally and starting over again. But that's like a lot of things. So we're going to put the boat in the water, and then we're going to start to develop what we really want for cabinets and countertops and stuff like that. That's why there were a lot of not yets on the list. There, we have all the little appliances that we want to put together. Like Leslie said, the creature comforts of home, so we can feel like we have a safe space. But everything else, we're basically going to just, work on it as we go.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting on the boat and seeing what we actually want to put in the galley and going from there.
It's huge. It's exciting. And that's what I hope that our biggest takeaways from our our viewers is that this is exciting. This is the stuff that makes it fun. And so get out there and have that fun that Patrick and Candace have been having 3 years head start on us all. And we're going to get caught up with them is what we're going to do. And we're all going to meet up one day in the middle of the Atlantic. Shall we meet in Bermuda? Let's not. That sounds scary. So next,
Not in the triangle.
yeah, no, right? The tip of the triangle. Let's not do that. But next week, folks, I hope you'll come back around for next week's episode. It's going to be a nice one where we talk about our coming adventures. And so for us, we're excited to share about our coming summers when it's all going to kick off for us. I know for Aaron and Shara, they're getting ready to splash their big girl extraordinary horizons, and I'm going to celebrate that day so much. It's going to be so awesome. Very excited for them. And then I know Patrick and Candace are eager to get back on Electra, and they're going to, they already shared a video, first long form video from them in a while last week. And so I'm looking forward to more of that to come, checking out the Instagram channel for the redo on the galley. So there's so much exciting stuff coming. Next episode will be us breaking down each one of our upcoming adventures. And so I hope you'll come and check that out. And it's sure to be a good one. But to wrap us up, Patrick, as always, take it away.
Thanks for watching.
See you later, guys. Have a great week.